good ult. Actually, that brings up another question. The SF, what kind of a build are you looking for? Do you need any kind of initiation when you have like a Timber Saw on the team? So a Yules?
He's buying the Yules, and I think it's good because he's playing instant clips. He's playing against one stun, right? It's the Winter's Curse. If he has a Yules BKB, he has a guaranteed Requiem except against Curse. So if anyone can account for that Wyvern during the game, they will get a Requiem off. And that spell is obviously insanely good against Neeko. Tons of AoE damage in general against the Chen army, together with the raise combos and everything. It's really solid here.
Looks like he's going for a BKB next. Do you agree with that?
Yep. It was that or a dagger.
So Yules BKB.
Yeah, I think it's solid.
Okay. There's a lot of magic damage. Of course, Winter's Curse will still go through all of that, but there remains to be seen if that comes into play or not.
The concern I have a bit for HellRaisers is physical damage. Like if you have a safe lane Timber and your SF goes for a magic buildup, you're playing to a timing right now where you're really strong. They're going to go for the fight here with the smoke. Let's see if they
Charlie on the Razor has treads right now, finishing the drums right. So he gets glimpsed into the static storm kinetic field combo and into the waiting arms of Kaysani. So an easy one for HellRaiser. Seneko almost gets out actually, but a double kill here for Funnick as the chase will continue. Era still has Curse. See if they want to try and force this out, or if he even uses it. Might just take the death. And the Aether Remnant will clean him up nicely, so great fight for HellRaisers as they're going to take this tier 1 tower as well.
I love the way they executed that. They're like, we have Yules, we have all our spells, we're going to make a smoke play. If we find any core with our Clink scouting in front, we'll glimpse them back and we're going to Requiem and kill. And then they can just ball off that. It's still the issue for NiP right now, the way I see it, is that their team fight, when everything just comes together for HR and they get to initiate, your counterplay potential is very much reliant on the enemy team being in a weak position. Supreme comes in with haste.
Supreme. He has, he wants to go in. There's 4 members. Obviously, his team is not too far behind. He's going to poof back in, but not sure if they actually are going to go for this. Remember, Curse is up, but Era is not even remotely close to the fight at the moment. Has to walk there the old-fashioned way. The Glimpse are going to find safe light, so this is going to be a free kill for HellRaisers and Ninjas in Pajamas. Awkward fight that we're seeing right now is Charlie brought to half HP. Looks like HellRaisers are very confident to go forward here. 15-minute mark till the bounty runes are available, and now NiP is on the run again, and they're going to find Era for a second time, and still not going to have Winter's Curse as a result. Static Link upon Nyx, but I believe NiP is going to have to most likely back it. The Static Storm is up again. This is how long this fight feels like it's been going. There's the heal from the Chen, but Charlie's going to go down very quickly. They do find the Clinks, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of HellRaisers still. And NiP not able to catch anyone now. Even if they catch the Nyx, I'm not sure. But by Nyx, of course, I mean the Timber Saw. Was it yesterday or the other day that Nyx was playing Nyx, or is Nyx in the game?
There was a Nyx in the game and Nyx in the other team. Yeah, it was pretty confusing.
That was the worst.
Yeah, so once again, HR will be aggressive, right? As soon as they get vision and they glimpse a hero back, NiP's just lack of counterplay becomes a problem. The primary counterplay they have is Curse, but if you noticed in that last fight, HR had really brilliant positioning. Like, no 2 heroes were close together. They kept a good distance to each other. They have angles covered with Voidbird being able to jump in. They know if the fight is long enough, they get multiple glimpses. So just solid play. NiP are still looking in a good spot now, though, because now they got the first real timing of Neeko. They get the Ethereal Blade. He just increases damage by a lot. He increases survivability. So if they can somehow ball down another tower than this bottom tower that they now finally get minute 16, they get their first tower with their Chen strategy. That would be good news, but the big story of the game right now is happening on the other side of the map, and they seem to have no idea that this is going on right now.
Yeah, Roshan is the target here for HellRaisers. They do have a little bit of minus armor, of course, coming out from both the Clinks and the Shadow Fiend. And it looks like it is a freebie, like you said. Although, no, wait, NiP, they're on the way, because this isn't the fastest Roshan yet. HellRaisers are going to have to back here.
Longer than they thought.
And they're quite damaged, so I don't even know if they can fight if they want to. This might be a free rush for NiP now. As Seneko and company have come into the pit, and HellRaisers are just going to have to back out. That feels really bad. Maybe they can try and steal the end of the day. Funnick jumps in, but nope, the Aegis is on Supreme. That means NiP are likely going to win this fight, as they're going to clean up both the Clinks and the Disruptor. Now the E-Blade being used to full effect on the Funnick. Well, the Dissimulate kept him out of harm's way for a bit, and actually the Earthbinds are missing. Oh, one finally roots him in place, and that should do it. So 3 kills and the Roche out of nowhere, and probably this tier 1 tower as well.
That was actually the worst possible thing that could happen for HellRaisers. They went to an objective, they couldn't kill it fast enough. Then all of the teamfight and all of the catch of NiP lacking doesn't matter, because now they can just run in there, be like, this is where we are strong. Oh, your Clinks has 10% HP? Perfect, 5-1-4. And we're just going to run into the pit with NiP and you guys can't fight us. So they kind of just did NiP's job for them. This is where NiP's lineup is supposed to go to get an advantage and get ahead in the game. And HR, usually under those circumstances, will try to initiate and take a team fight out of it. But they put themselves at so low HP that they couldn't do it, and they had no positioning advantage anymore. So NiP will say thank you very much. Great read from them to go in there at the time they did and make the decision to just kill it. No, like, they weren't scared at all. Summoning mid from Chen, they're gonna get
Pushka gets the glimpse off, but there's more than enough members here to...
He's dead.
All right, he's done so. And that's going to be another track kill going the way of NiP. What are your thoughts on... So, we talked about the BKB on Kaysani, but he actually switched up and went Boots of Travel first, and now is going Blink into BKB. So it's pretty much exactly what you kind of brought up in terms of the physical damage not exactly being that high right now. Basically all magic for the most part. I mean, you got Void Spirit's magic, Shadow Fiend in this game is magic, where he could have gone physical in theory, and then Timbersaw is a mix of magical and pure. Seems like all their eggs are in one basket here. There's not enough variety in terms of the damage types.
Yeah, that's my big concern here. I mean, outside of the fact that they kind of just gave a Roche away, I think that's the bigger problem. Like, you can still solve this damage discrepancy later. Shadow Fiend can take the damage talent on level 20 and do some sort of hybrid build where he goes fuels to be strong now, and then he can go BKB Medalist later, for example. It's not perfect, but it can get the job done. Maybe Clinks can scale if he has a good time as well. Like, he can get at least some meaningful physical damage out. But yeah, for now, it is also possible that when the enemy primary cores a Meepo that you don't need that much physical damage, because he's never gonna be able to have BKB on all of his Meepos, right? So you will have a target, at least. Oh, they found Bounty Hunter. He's dead. Raises.
The bounties are up as well as Bounty Hunter dies.
He's not dead.
Nope, he runs away. There's a Winter's Curse onto 2. Looks like Kaysani will find his way to the grave very shortly, and indeed he does. The Death Requiem goes off, and Pushka denies the bounty rune that he could not quite catch up to, and then dies.
That was
right
a really high impact Hand of God. Oh my.
Funnick might be in a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't have Astral Step for another 5 seconds, and that means everyone can go to town on him. That's a triple kill for Meepo across the map. And yeah, NiP is just snowballing out of control, it feels like.
Yeah, this is getting really ugly for HR right now. Like, NiP, this is everything they wanted. They get a couple of extra kills here. They can go down mid. They have all of their cooldowns ready except Hand of God. Meepo still has the Aegis. You could be looking at potential poke into high ground here, as Nyx will TP home against the track. But man, what just happened up there was so important. The Hand of God keeps them alive. Because of that, they get 2 track kills, since Bounty Hunter doesn't die and can track them both. And they're forced to deny the bounty rune that they would have got otherwise. This is like a 2k gold swing in that one fight, basically, of what was the expected outcome. Clutch.
Maybe even more. Another tier 1 tower goes the way of NiP. Meepo is working on an Eye of Scotty. He has that blink dagger as he's shown. Pushka has got to be careful.
He has a good ward to work with right now in the enemy jungle.
How long is a glimpse versus a poof in terms of duration? Do you have time to poof as you get glimpsed? If you have one,
I think it interrupts the cast if you get pulled back. So you have to cast it again regardless.
Oh, I see. Even before you've gone back.
Yeah,
no, I mean
channel.
poofing to the Meepo that you're glimpsed.
Oh, you can poof in with the others before the first one gets glimpsed back.
Before the glimpse goes through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Of course, he'll probably end up going a sheep stick at some point. He's actually going to find Clinks, and I mean, ooh, Wait a second.
Waiting for trying.
Waiting for a poof? Okay. Oh, okay. Smart play. Extra gold goes the way of NiP, as they have a 6k net worth lead now. I thought he was actually taunting him, not gonna lie.
Super flat in the last 10 minutes. Like, he had a pretty good start. They got a great start in the top lane. They got the first blood. He got a bit of damage. And then it feels like HR haven't really been able to take the kind of team fights that I was expecting. They got a couple of 2 to 3 hero kills with the glimpses, but this Roshan thing just blew all steam out of them. That really swung the entire game. They were in a decent spot until then. And now, according to Mr. Win Expectancy, we're talking 92% NiP right now, which is kind of crazy, but honestly, it's probably pretty accurate. Like, we do know it's a good Meepo game, and since they're ramping up this fast, and there's no real objectives for HR to get now, they've got to be kicking themselves that they chose to go for that. Like, that was the biggest moment of the game for me. Sure.
I think obviously they do regret going for the Roche. I like the idea of it a lot. It's just they didn't have the damage.
Yeah, and that's what sometimes happens when, I would imagine this is not necessarily HR's 100% comfort zone draft, right? Safe lane Timbersaw on Nyx and then a mid lane Shadow Fiend going magic build. They probably don't have a very clear feeling of how long this Roshan takes. If they knew how long it would take, I think it's naive to go for it. So they were probably expecting it to go faster than it did, and then when you're committed and it's down to like half HP, you're like, okay, well, we're in, boys, you know? So then they keep going, get it down to a quarter, and then they get cold feet because the entire enemy team goes missing. So, yeah. I think, did they have both the medallion and level 1 or 2 death pact when they did it? So they had like minus 7 or 8 armor.
If they had medallion or not, I'd have to go back and see, but obviously, I don't know what level SF was, but I assume he had at least a couple in presence at that time.
Yeah, they had presence too, probably level 2. Yeah, I mean, they had a decent amount of minus armor, but Roche
they have a good Roche killing lineup, but they just didn't have the damage. I mean, not the best in the world, but they have enough minus armor to be able to take it with enough farm.
Oh, that feels so bad if he doesn't kill this courier now. Okay, he got it. He's probably gonna die for it though.
That is the BKB.
Yeah,
I believe that is for the Razor. Yeah, we'll go bye-bye. Was that for the Razor, I assume?
Yeah. That was Charlie's BKB.
So he'll have that in 2.5 minutes, but he doesn't really care because they can just continue to fight if they really want. I mean, they're kind of in the driver's seat in a lot of ways. They can take it slow if they really want. I mean, Meepo still has room to grow, but he's also the hero that can just literally jump in and annihilate anybody at this stage of the game. And we'll be going for that cheap stick like we talked about. That's when he's at his scariest. There's a point where he kind of tapers off. We'll see if that ends up being thing here. Looks like Bounty Hunter's going to get caught inside this kinetic field. They do see him doing a decent amount of damage. Essence Ring is popped into the Stimulate, into the Glimpse. All this work to try to kill a Bounty Hunter, and they can't even do that.
2k HP and Pipe and Essence Ring.
He's tanky. He's actually going for Ag as well.
Essence Ring is part of the 2k, but yeah. Pipe is the perfect item in this game for Bounty, I think. I'm very happy he didn't rush the Ags. I know Saberlight loves this item on Bounty Hunter, but I think going Pipe after Vessel is a good read on the game. Like, you want to make your Meepo the boss, and this is the best efficiency item he can buy for his Meepo. So just getting Pipe on all of them against Shadow Fiend is super.
Alright, they dust Saberlight again, but now they're scared. They remember the last time they fought him, he got out after they used literally everything. So they're going to do it again. He gets remnanted up. Getting relatively low. His team is actually nowhere near him, so he might actually fall now. But here comes the Meepo, demolishing that Disruptor out of nowhere. Kasani, BKB, Requiem, ends up fearing the Bounty Hunter. They still cannot kill this guy. Good lord, how long will he live? Finally, after everything expended, they can take out the Bounty Hunter. A 1-for-1 with a buyback now on the Disruptor. It's Kasani. It's a good thing about these items. He's super fast, and that's the one benefit. Roger getting static linked in the backside here. Charlie's going to pop that drum. Roger, looks like he has enough distance there. No vision to speak of. And I think that will end the fight. As I say that, of course, Era dies. But still, so much was expended, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like that, was that the 10-second BKB? Yeah, that was a 10-second BKB on Kasani.
The big thing that we're seeing in this fight, though, is that Supreme doesn't feel fully confident that he can do whatever he wants. And that's the difference from Meepo between having an Aegis and not. If he has an Aegis, they win this fight because he will hard commit into anybody he wants to shut down and just ball over the fight. But he still has to show a little bit of respect. He's a bit worried that if he commits too hard on, say, the Shadow Fiend gets Requiem plus some sort of Timbersaw follow-up or a Void Spirit catch, that they can get the damage out. He knows his life is extremely valuable. I think maybe he could have still done it, but it's understandable that he doesn't want to go fully hard. Roche is up.
I caught the tail end of this, but I think they looked in Roche, and then he spawned the millisecond they left the pit. I'm gonna have to check again here. But obviously, Meepo.
They'll see it now with the wolf.
Super fast. Yeah. They might want to take a fight, maybe pick somebody off beforehand. But HR, they have the high ground here. Clinks might be the bait. Indeed, he might be. The Clinks dies immediately. There's a Winter's Curse defense. Charlie with the BKB static link applies to the Shadow Fiend. The BKBs have already been popped galore, and he's going to find his way to the grave. It's a 2 for nothing, and Charlie's going to continue to chase it onto the Nyx. Looks like that is a 3rd kill for NiP, as they can easily go for the Roshan now. Even a free DD if they want to pick that up. And the Pushka is just going to deny it, though.
And
that is a dead Roche. Timbersaw has no buyback, and if Shadow Fiend buys back, he has half of his souls. It's a really bad buyback hero. But they don't even want to go for the Roche. They're just going to shut down mid, see if they can get a lane of Rex first.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point about Shadow Fiend. One of the worst buyback heroes in the entire game. Even if he had his ult, it's going to be...
It's a really weak ult.
Way less. Yeah. Less impactful. So they're just going to give up the racks. They could go for bottom. Actually, go for Mega, because if they really want. All the outer towers are down. So mid racks is completely down. Fortifications popped. This might indicate to them that HellRaisers want to defend this one. You would hope so, at least. As the will commence. My God, Clinks is instantly deleted. And now the tier 3 tower will fall. Can they defend this top racks? Well, they're going to attempt to. There's the jump in onto Supreme. One of the Meepos is relatively low, but the Void Spirit is taking heavy damage. Astral Step out into the Winter's Curse, and he will fall to the Splinter's Blast shortly thereafter. Supreme jumps in again. He is getting relatively low, but 2 already dead for HellRaiser, as they are confined to the fountain. And I do believe this is going to be not only a second lane of racks, but most likely the GG if they continue. Knowing that 2 heroes are dead, I believe the Disruptor bought back recently, so they know that one's down. Yeah, they're just going to continue this push.
This went
really fast.
I think this was a very interesting game to watch. I'm going to talk about it in past tense because this will be Mega Creeps most likely.
The game has ended. HellRaiser just doesn't know yet.
It's pretty clear that you could see what both lineup were going for, and you could see the strengths of what HellRaisers were able to do early to mid game. You could see what NiP were waiting for and everything. And once again, it's going to keep coming back to that Roche decision where the game was even, and that if there's a fight there, whoever wins that fight gets in a really good spot in the game. But NiP ends up getting it without even having to fight for it, which